welcome back. So we've got a photo map to look at today. Let's go ahead, drive on in. We're in the 512 TR Ferrari, and the map we're checking out today is a BADHEARN1126 map. We're going to start over at this particular part here. So the overview of what we're looking at today is going to be pretty much what's being built here. So just a couple of houses. Let's go ahead and see what type of shots we can pull on that. So we've got the standard parking out underneath the garage type areas here. Let's just reverse back in. And this car in particular is set up with drag tires, so combined with sand will be interesting, but I think the color tone, the white and black on that one, is going to be a really good color tone for this setting. So, you know, something on an angle with a yacht in the background could be doable. Now, obviously the usual, don't forget you've got the controls. You can use the D-pad if you're on controller, that format, and obviously zoom out and zoom in. You also have color filters you can use here if you really want. So custom versus soft. We're on the Series X, so we don't have the extra where the PC has the additional options we can work with normally. We're just running this on Series X today. So let's go with soft. Actually, we have a reasonable shot on that one. We can use some aftermarket imaging software to bump it if needed as well, but yeah, something like those lines there you could sort of work with. Now remember always to fling the camera around a bit as well, see what other options we've got. But definitely I think from a front perspective, that's going to be probably the better angle with the yacht. This sort of car look. What we do also have here is a couple of other bays. Now, honestly, I think we're going to be looking at similar view from these. But let's go ahead and just double check. We're just catching up on Eventlabs at the moment, so we've had a massive backlog, but we are definitely. This one here gives a few more pylons into the shot, blocking the yacht. Could obviously, I mean, depending on what you're looking at, it definitely makes it more prominent that this car is belonging to this building. So that could be an upside to that. And what I do love is this car also has the fins and the aerodynamics down the sides here. So it does actually. Being on the water, it's going to be difficult to get anything out the front of this place though. And the bay next to it's going to be very similar. See, I don't think we're going to be able to. I mean, is there anything at the front of this that was decorated, or is it just closed? Closed off front. So there's nothing at that end. It's a shame we can't really get anything out the front here that you can like park over here, like you drive in and then park over here, but there's probably limitations in the parking. Now to the yacht. So what we're looks like we're using speed cameras on the side there for a bit of a security type element. Do we go straight on with the boat, or do we go on an angle? I reckon we could go on an angle to make it look better. Yeah, something like this. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I don't think we've got any lighting around here from what I can see. So changing the in the settings day to night will just make it extremely dark. But what we can do, bring that back a notch. Do a black and white. Could definitely work for it, you know. Wheels in this case are probably a little too pitch black for this, but again, it's personal choice. Natural, beachside natural. Definitely something along the lines of this format. I mean, it's the case of what vehicle you bring to the table. And, you know, if you go for the above ground type shot, you know, helicopter going over the top. There's definitely a few angles that you can scope on if you really want to. Or you could come back from even this style shot. Actually, back in on the boat. Overlooking the beach. No? So again, a few things to weigh in on when doing it. As soon as you go back into the standard gameplay, it's definitely not going to be as detailed. So I'm hoping Forza Horizon 6 will improve on that. We have a mechanics workshop on the beach, quite interesting. Again, just some parking bays by the looks. We have sort of a beachside look at this one again. So let's just pull in natural, see what brings the wood back to a nicer color texture. Can we get a better look from this angle? Or is it actually a fixed? Okay. Sunlight in there. Get up high enough. Be able to get some. You're gonna have to get like that sort of height, which then you've got to get enough light on it. You'll be able to utilize the stand next to it. Or you get right in on the angle otherwise. You could pull the car out a little bit more, for instance, if you get more. I think something like work with something like that. That also works. I absolutely love the lines that 512 has in the bodywork. Amazing car. And that also puts you right on the actual edge of the company back on the seat. Now, this one here, let's reverse in. So it looks like it's some sort of warehouse setup scenario here. Again, more reverse parking under wooden slats. This one here you'll see, has some of the shadow forecasting above. So you could actually go from the upper height here, take a photograph if you wish. Stair-wise, stairs go here, but there's a big drop. They don't exactly flush down in here. That's sort of why I was confused for a second. I thought it was actually I thought there were stairs, but it's like a fence as well. Interesting. But yeah, I think something from up here with a bit of an angle shot with the shadowing cast on it. Good. Like, could work. It's very subtle. After imaging software would obviously sharpen up. Definitely the old classic through the roof is up for us here. Too much blocking going on. And then coming in from this angle. Again, there's shadows in there of course, but Just gives you that vibe, warm feel. And that's going to utilize that pole there just that little bit in the shot. Now we do have bays here, bay B and C, with different backgrounds as well. So again, you could square this shot right up entirely like it's so get the car dead center. You know, that actually is a really clean shot. I think that's the best shot I've liked so far. Because, yeah, it sort of makes sense without trying like straight up a beachfront getaway type house. That one there, I think, would be the. Again, you've got side shots. But yeah, definitely, I think square straight on. If you've got a car that has a very distinctive, very neat, well worth the wrong button. Those are actually beautiful shots. Not really why I don't have any photographs really taken in game on the actual account. Drive on back here. Just out of curiosity, let's go ahead and check. Don't think this particular bay is going to give that much, unless we can advise everything. So get anything detailed here. Do have 11 pieces. I mean, you could go something like this angle. It could work because with that sort of park in there. I wish they allowed having models of the supercars, hypercars as well, just to fill up some of these. That would actually be a lot flexible. But yeah, could come with that sort of angle in there, but it's way too much darkness. You really want to be coming from too much from here, here. So the only other thing I can think is directly all the way back. How do we even get there? It's got me locked in there, so went too far back. All good. Looks like we actually bulldozed that one in even. We will move to the next. We have the ever done car in a caravan look. Yeah, I don't think anyone would believe this car would go to caravan, but you know, whatever vehicle you're driving, sort of, you know, make it look like it's fixed up, as I always mention with these scenarios. Now, naturally, the height we've got, we have unrestricted camera heights, have flexibility on it as well. And you could go along with this. But definitely, that's another sort of option. We have an open garage over here, but whilst we're over this area, this definitely isn't normally there, so it's a communal beach fire type area. Getting sort of photographs that will work out well with that. No, something like that, just a close up. Would have been in just a square photo type or rectangular photo type. But always throw that flare to it, that get it in that. It does definitely work the angle a bit. Photo. Yeah. There is, I think there is a night mode of this as well that we're going to be checking out as well. So we'll have that directly in the same video after this. Let's go ahead, reverse into these car parks here. Garages, I should say. Perfect. Right in the lines. The added distance, anyone who's watched the photo labs we've done in the past is going to know that these are going to get very dark because they're in the sheltered area. So if you come right up close, generally speaking, that's when you'll get a bit of lightness in the daytime type of session. In this case it is. So this will work out relatively well. That scenario. So as we can see, very polished. Looks immaculate. Pop-up headlights. Gotta love them. Here. Going out, we've got the beach type area. Plenty of lines and that going on with the car as well that will help out the photo a bit. That's for sure. That angle probably not going to work as much. This angle probably could work quite well. Just gives a bit of roof on the other side. That's right. Backlight, we can just get it adjusted. Gotta be really, gotta be quite fussy in particular. That's for sure. And it's going to be very similar to the position next door to it. Give you a quick look. Be directly in the lines again. But yeah, the car is just too fun to drive. From here, we've got this sort of line here. But again, just depends what you're going for. Damage on the car, not anymore. You could go for that and get a bit more of the back of the car in. Prancing emblem, that sort of thing. The sun is a little bit bright out there though. It's something that I'd have to probably do an after edit. Now what do we have over here? We have more beach buggies. Could go for the photo in front of the tent. A lot of shading, shadowing going on with the tent inside, so it does sort of block the details of the vehicles inside. But the car that we're in is outside, so we're going to get the details. Yeah, definitely this one's a bit awkward because it needs more lighting inside. But what can we work with outside here? I think we could actually that there sort of works. The tower. I don't mind that. You could sort of capture it. Bit of an angle again, just a slight bit of flare to it. Probably good for a vertical type shot, that one. Good. No, vertical it and then you'd actually flip that around, but yeah, you know what I mean. We do have a bay over here, parking, or for fueling up, with a mirror screen behind it. So the question will come down to shading and lighting, what we have in here. Definitely a lot of color tone from the back screen, being a bright color spectrum. The red pumps as well, sort of complement against the bit. The shadowing, I'm getting a bit of a, but I think again we're going to have to go with something like a rear of the car shot looking out. And a bit soft wheel. Alright, so we'll use soft and that will sort of pick up on that a bit for us. We can use that as sort of a pump shot. Then on this side, what type of setup are we looking at? Very similar setup. This side we had tires and the electric type on this side. Similar, except more like a ticket type station, but just a little bit clearer. So you could go for that sort of angle again, matching the fins for instance, or you could go for a bit of an angle from the center. Just that sort of system. Now, other than that, I don't think there is much more beyond over here. There isn't. So with that in mind, what we're going to go ahead and do is go on to the next one. So just sit tight. We'll just load that one immediately up. Movie magic. Here we go. So we are back, and this will be the night version, I believe, for this particular Eventlab. So we're going to drive in the same entrance. Except this time we're going to have some lighting around here. See if that makes any difference. Now we do have lighting against some of these pillars as well. That's actually quite neat. Can we actually, just off the mark, get any usage off these lights here? Being nighttime, the key thing is getting enough light. Definitely the lighting path here is a good feature piece. The white itself isn't as piercing white as it would be in the daytime, but I mean it definitely has its working element. I think let's just cycle the presets, see what we've got on this. Saturation being night, embellish it a little bit more. I mean, something like this, but definitely with after imaging software, that is for sure. Because you see the sand on the left over there being a bit brighter. A lot of that stuff could get popped up a little bit more and probably sharpened up a bit more. So yeah, I definitely think something like that could be the go-to. But we've got the right car for the job though, that's for sure. Let's zoom ahead and see what else BADHEARN has done. Did they put lighting underneath the car parking for us here? That is going to be the big thing. If we park partially in there, can we utilize that front light? Because if we park all the way back, I don't think that we're going to get that full. We're going to get shadows. Might be wrong. Does work, and Again, we could go for the old angle up higher shot in this instance. That can always do its job. Get up here. Go. Do over the edge creeping. Or just along the side. Look out from the back of the car itself. I don't think that as a... they're very standard buildings. I think I've seen those buildings so often. Those buildings are very... looking onto them direct. That's popping for me. I would imagine for a photo. But looking back this way, getting this angle. Yeah, I reckon this is it's the lighting. It needs the lighting. So something on that angle, you'd want to try and have a fiddle with it to see when taking photographs what best works for you. Now the parking bay with the most lighting around it is the far right. We are going to utilize that. I just realized I'm coming crooked. Of course I did. Okay. Something like that. If anything's going to be the best shot, it's going to be this shot here, which will actually have lighting on both sides. Come at it from this angle and get that warm yellow. You could come at it from this angle, although this pillar here is a little more problematic. I think something like this, the backdrop of the yacht again, could be a good angle in the shot. That's for sure. That warm yellow definitely is a nice colour. It's like the yellow light glass driving. We have some helmets in the back here as well. This angle here, any other shots go with. At a distance, you could go for something like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. I think, yeah, at night time it needs an extra vehicle in one of those bays. Now we have the boat. Last time in the daytime we found the best scenario was on an angle. Is that the same said for nighttime? Because lighting will play a big factor. We've got lighting around here and up here. We're really going to have to go against one of the fence lines to get lighting by the look, so we can't just park directly in the front. So the shot that we're going to have to go with, and I honestly don't know how good it's going to look, so we're just going to have a look at it. Can we squeeze it in there and try and utilize any light whatsoever? Something like that. So we can utilize it a little bit like that. We do get some of the workshop in the background as well. So it's almost like that's part of this with the house and for parking. You know, that there is definitely a doable scenario, but I think that is the most doable shot from that angle if we're looking at it. And again, just the reason for that is there is too many darker spots around here. So you want to try and utilize where these lights are. And over here, I don't think it's going to be as bright. So for instance, let's go ahead and humor myself just to see what this will look like. Because it might work. I mean, that wall is extremely high, however. damage. Aftermarket imaging maybe might bring it up a bit. The white isn't popping as much as I'd want on it. But yeah, definitely it's one way to eliminate the building and get the boat in it. But you will definitely be wanting to do some after imaging. But it is doable. Next area. Oh my god, these drag tires are just evil. I did say at the beginning of the video, this car is it's neat, but it also is a bit squirrely. Now, in the daytime, this shot was a bit of a problem. It was like a seaside back shot at best, but here at night time, plenty of light. Actually, everything is lit. Let's just okay. Now that there is the problem. You can't roll too far back in there. And that's going to be to do with the game's boundary. That would have been a real big pain to work with when... Yep. So you're pretty much stuck with everything like being like it's under one big light bulb. Yeah, this one here, I'm going to call that one there a bit of a bust, that one at that particular barrier. It's glitching out too much, so whether or not it's too close to the boundary, let's try this end one. This doesn't look as bad. Yeah, the light... See, this here, it's not as like someone's put a light above it. This one over here was just boosting it. So yeah, something like this, you could do a nighttime type close-up shot. Again, truck in air. The water itself looks nice. There. Go for a shot coming down like this. Alright, just zooming in. And that can definitely work in that scenario there. So there's a few angles you can go. If you go back a little bit too far though, I think you are going to hit that barrier and then trigger that boundary light. Let's go ahead and humor ourselves. Is that... There we go. So definitely that's a fine borderline where you can work with there. Let's go ahead and check out this area. Now, so there is some lighting underneath here. In particular, this end one looks very well lit. The problem here is everything is lit. Well too lit. Out see if it just correct itself or if it is actually to do with. Yep. So this is the Forza Horizon 5 lighting issue. Neons or lights of any sort are going to, if you get too close to them, they can be just really bugged. Something I'm hoping Forza Horizon 6 will fix. That shot is way too... Let's try the middle. Still very well lit out here. Try the Bay C, see if that... Lighting is definitely a unique skill which can be tough to do. Even in the game. I don't think it's as bright as the other ones were. So maybe these double lights, double light there, and having to shoot the lights too close to that bay if you park in here is triggering a poor lighting effect. This one here, I would say something along the lines of that again. It's a very similar shot to what we had on the first one. Utilizes the walkway to the right, but something like that anyway. Okay, onwards to this section here. So we have the tower now that actually has a light in it, which is actually really cool because we took a shot here before. Now, the question is going to be, is there going to be enough light for us to take that advantage? I think this shot here is, light isn't bright enough to pass the car. Can we get enough light out the front? Even at a distance, it's still got a dark, it's shadowing on the front. Yeah, I'd say daylight shot for that particular type shot is going to work best. Unless you can get some more light in that shot, the car itself. On a quick glance, without there isn't any light here. We will give that a shot, but I do think that one fluoro would have been a good pull there. Yeah, again, we've got just the color this car is being that stark white. It's definitely shadowing quite a bit. Let's just nothing is bringing that. It's going to be too light. Go back to software is probably the best option. That's going to be your best take. I mean, there's plenty of light coming off the headlights, but it's just, yeah, it doesn't have any light on. Yeah, something like that. Getting up there, okay. And last but not least, let's go ahead and see what this looks like. So lights in here, we have lights at the back, 1 and 2. Nothing from what I can see at the front, but how does that impact the shot? So the lighting at the back is set back a little bit beyond the car, so we can see a little bit of shadow in there. It's too problematic. We've got the lights on at the front. I mean, that shot does work. I think from this angle, it's going to be the better shot because you can try and target a bit of light in from here as well. So I would say something like this is going to be your best shot. Try and tag in some of the details around, like the pole on the edge. And we can just... You can zoom in if you wanted. Filtered. No, it just depends what you want in the shot. Something like that, I think. That's probably the nicest shot I think I got on the night one. But yeah, there's not much more I can really photograph on this one either. So I think that's going to be the end of the video. Once you're done, head over to the finish line. That's both the day and night mode of this map from BADHEARN. Do check it out, see what you think, see what photographs you're able to make on that one. And also do check out our Photo Event Lab list. We have over 120 plus Photo Event Labs over there at the moment. All really cool as well. Alright. On that note, have a smashing day, and I will see you in the next video. That's me out. Gotcha.